7 weeks ago, I took control over a finance portfolio with 15 websites. The sites were fine. They were fast, they were indexed, they were not penalized. But they were invisible to AI. 7 weeks later, their search volume is up close to 100% and their search impressions with AI have risen by 21,000. All of this has been in the span of 2 months. The owner did not change anything about how he runs his business. I want to show you the entire system because if you run an agency or if you're somebody who's interested in GEO, these are the things that everybody's going to be talking about in the next couple of months to a year, and almost nobody is talking about them now. Okay, here's why this is important right now. Search is splitting into two halves. There's the old half, which is the blue links on Google, and there's the new half, which is AI answers, Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, all those things. When somebody asks AI a question, the AI only recommends 3 answers and that's it. That's where the entire story comes to an end. If you're not one of the sources that AI recommends, it's like you don't even exist. This is like not having a website 10 years ago, not having a social media page, not having literally anything. The phone is gonna stop ringing and you're gonna have less business than usual. It doesn't matter how good you rank on Google now. The thing that's gonna be the next big thing is gonna be GEO, or generative engine optimization. How high you rank in AI engine. Now, a different game is being played and most sites are not even paying attention to the game. I'm gonna show you the real dashboards, I'm gonna show you the real system, and I'm gonna show you the 7 moves that help me get these results. Let's get right into it. Quick thing about me, I do GEO for a living, so I run these engagements and make money from them. And this is a real client's work that I worked with for 7 weeks, and these are actual results. Let's get into it. Of course, everything I show you is just data, but it's anonymized because it's client work. This is where you see whether AI is quoting a site. This is Bing Webmaster Tools, and this specific view counts how often AI engines cite the pages. Almost no site owner has ever opened this screen. That's the whole problem in one image. You cannot grow what you refuse to measure. When I started, this number existed, but it was drifting. There was no system, no direction, content was going out on the site, but it was written to be read by humans and it gave AI nothing to grab onto. So the first move was not writing any content, it was measurement and handling the technical stuff. So I stood up all of the technical stuff for Bing Webmaster Tools, set up all of the accounts. And then I also set up Google Search Console, I set up GA4, which is Google Analytics, and I set up a Google Tag Manager. And Google Tag Manager and Search Console and GA4, which is Google Analytics, are the most important because ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Claude do not give you information about how often you're cited in the AI engine. So the only thing you can track is where those clicks are coming from. The only way to see traffic is to check the referrals inside of your own analytics, which is what I did. Most people never set it up, so important thing to note. Once you can see the thing, you can grow it. And now, moving on to the next one. I scored every site with this. This is a custom-made GEO audit skill that I made. It's a 100-point audit across 7 dimensions and 5 different AI engines. This checks AI citability, brand authority, content quality, freshness, technical, structured data, and platform readiness. So this is not a vibe. It is a scorecard that tells me exactly what is blocking citations on each specific site. So one site can be technically perfect but have 0 entity authority. Another one might have great content but it's buried under JavaScript, and this is important. The AI crawlers cannot get through the content. You cannot fix what you cannot diagnose, and this is the diagnosis. Now this is move 3. And this is one thing that is super important, and it's called a person or an organization schema or entity authority. AI engines trust people or organizations they can recognize. Unnamed person or a brand, let's say Jeff Bezos, everybody knows him. Coca-Cola, everybody knows it. That is something that the AI engine can organize. But if it's looking over a random site with no information, it's just gonna get confused. If your site is just words or pages with no author or organization behind them, it's not gonna consider you as a trustworthy person. In the SEO game, it's called EEAT, or expertise, experience, authority, and trustworthiness. And here, the schema is what tells the AI, okay, I am that guy. So for this 15-site portfolio, I built a knowledge graph for the founder, and I built a couple of organization ones with independent references, some claims, CNBC listings, New York Times listings. I wired all of these things inside of the structured data, and now the AI engines can recognize this is a real person, this is good content, and it cites it. Move 4. I changed the goal for every page. Instead of being ranking high, it's gonna be get cited by AI engines. So what does that mean? Content that ranks high on Google can still be impossible to quote by AI engines. So I restructured it a little bit. The direct answer for every page, every blog, or every article is gonna be at the top. The TLDR, that is one of the most important things for now. Those TLDRs, the first 2 sentences that explain what the article is going to be about, go right below the first heading. That is super important. And then there are also FAQs. FAQs need to be present on every single page, and article schemas need to be present at the bottom. You're writing for a machine that is looking for one sentence to quote. So your job is to make all of the content easy to digest, short paragraphs, and clean tables. Move 5 into the system is a technical flaw. So I went over 926 URLs to check them for literally everything. All of those have technical errors. Now those technical errors are at 0. I deployed schema and security hygiene. I cleared all of the stale cache, and I cleared everything when it comes to the old dates that make AI engines and just regular search engines think that the page is dead. So now it's refreshed. Move 6 is volume done right. So over the entire portfolio, over the 15 pages, we posted about 80 articles, and all of those 80 articles had to pass through a super secure test with about 331 different check marks for the content to pass. When it comes to generating content, most people trade quality for speed, but you don't have to do that if you just use a system. Move 7, and this is the last one for now. So I build directories. Directories are super important. Here's why. AI engines love structured data, as we mentioned before. When it comes to structured data, think about all of the most popular sites and why they're ranking so high. Facebook is a directory of people. Google Maps is a directory of places. YouTube is a directory of videos. So if you have a couple of pages or a directory for something that is hyper-specialized, local, or niche, you're gonna rank higher. So I built about 488 different listings for a couple of directories. I built 3 for now, and those things are ranking like crazy, and they're pushing up the entire portfolio. All of these directories have a schema, and they have built-in monetization, and they're lifting everything higher. Directories are citation magnets. When somebody asks a directory about best thing to do in a place or best chiropractor in a city, the directory is what gives it information, it supplies it, and it's very easy to get cited. So instead of only optimizing what existed in the portfolio, I gave it a bit of extra. This is a bit of free real estate the AI engines can pull from. So what did 7 weeks of this system do? The starting base of the portfolio was about 220,000 impressions. That increased to about 400,000. The AI citations went from 0 up until 21,000, which is crazy results in like 7 weeks. One single page got cited 900 times for a single quote, for a single sentence, and a second page got an increase in about 400% when it comes to citation. So these things are moving like crazy. 408 URLs are ranking in the top 20. And 0 technical errors across the entire portfolio. Here's the whole thing in one idea. AI loves content that is one of these 3 things. It needs to be structured so it's easy to consume. It needs to be sourced so it's easy to trust. And it needs to be attached to an entity that the AI engine already knows. Almost no site has all 3. The system that I'm building has all 3, and we're managing them on purpose so that we are actively measuring results instead of the content being drifted away somewhere. That's the whole game. There's no tricks, it's just a system. If you're somebody who wants to check your own site or check a client's site for all of this GEO stuff, feel free to drop me an email. It's down in the description. Like this video and subscribe, of course. And I'm gonna do it for free. So that's how I start every relationship. I want to offer some free value. I'm going to hand you over all of the fixes, and then you can do the work. If you want me to do the work, feel free to, again, send me an email and we're going to chat some more. Subscribe if you want the rest of the system, because I'm going to be covering every step in its own dedicated video. See you soon.